Use cases come in two forms: text-based and diagrams. A use case scenario is a text-based description of an interaction between an actor, someone who uses the system, and the system itself. It's essentially a narrative for a system requirement. Here's a simple scenario for a use case called buy a product. The customer decides what product they want, adds them to their basket, enters the payment and shipping information, and confirms the sale. Then the system checks the payment information, confirms the sale to the customer, and sends the customer a confirmation email. Here's one way to write the use case scenario in a more structured way. The document includes two important parts: the main success scenario and the extensions. The main success scenario is what happens if everything goes according to plan. It's like the default case. The steps are labeled numerically because they happen in a particular order. In other words, it's sequential. The extensions tell us what happens if the scenario deviates from the default case. In this example, if the customer is a regular customer in step 3, their information is already in the system. If the system fails to authorize the credit card information in step 6, the customer must re-enter it or cancel the transaction. It's important to note that even though use cases are a key concept in UML, the unified modeling language does not tell you how you should write a use case. What you see here is just an example given by Fowler, but it's not part of the UML specification. That may be because the UML specification focuses on the syntax and semantics of diagrams involved in modeling, rather than text-based descriptions. If you're looking for a more detailed description of the technique given here, I recommend the book Writing Effective Use Cases by Alistair Coburn. This is a use case diagram, and this is something that the UML specification does describe in detail. The diagram shows how external entities, or actors, interact with the system. The rectangle here indicates the system boundary. Use cases are represented as ovals inside the system. Actors, or external entities, are represented as stick figures outside the system. Note that actors don't have to be people. For example, the accounting system is external to the order processing system, and so it's represented as an actor here. Some use cases have more than one actor associated with them. When this occurs, one of the actors is usually considered the primary actor, and the other is considered secondary. Usually, the primary actor is left of the use case, and the secondary actor is to the right. But this isn't a strict rule. Finally, some use cases include other use cases, and this is represented with a dotted arrow. This is a very important point to understand about use cases. The diagram can be useful, but it's not mandatory. Your effort in working with use cases should go into the text-based descriptions of the use case scenario. These are what contain the details of how users interact with the system, details that are necessary for figuring out how the system should work.